So we're hustling out there, but we foul them, and it just ruins the whole play, ruins the whole momentum, all that. So defense is definitely the main thing that he talks about.
What do you like most about where this team is at the end of the non-conference slate?
I think with everybody kind of, coming back, being healthy, Twan being eligible, CJ coming back, I think we're all just, finally gelling together. That's the main thing, on and off the court. Not really on the court, but off the court, everybody's a great guy. We all hang out together, and we just love each other as a team, so that helps us on the court.
How good does this win feel, it being the last non-conference game, and how are you going to use this momentum going into conference play?
It feels great, to end, the non-conference with a win, going into the new year with a win, and just celebrating with the guys, and just, taking this time, kind of to, like you said, just build the momentum going into conference. It's a tough conference, Big 12, a lot of good teams, but yeah, kind of like you said, just kind of building that momentum and kind of steamrolling down on the Big 12.
How did it feel reconvening after that game against Florida A&M and, of course, the Christmas holiday?
It was great. Kind of went home. I don't think everybody went home, but myself going home with the family, being with my family away from home, and then coming back and being with this family again. It was great. I know everybody feels the same way, but just being able to come back and being on a good roll, getting this win, and then on to the next game.
An all-around great offensive performance, 5 players in 10-plus points, and 51 bench points. How much does that mean to the team when you guys are all shooting like that?
It's great. It just means that we're all just connecting. It's we over me. It's not your shot, it's our shot. That's what Coach preaches all the time. And they were a great team too. A lot of shots fell through tonight. When we're on a roll, we're a dangerous team. So.
How would you kind of look back and reflect on this non-conference portion of the schedule? Are you guys, obviously the goal is to win every game. You came short of doing that, but are you happy, satisfied? How would you kind of evaluate this first part of the season?
I feel like, the 3 games that we did lose were all winnable games. They were all tough teams that we played against. And then in a lot of portions of those games, we kind of gave it away. We lost the game ourselves. I feel like the other team didn't really win. But we're not going to take credit away from anybody. They won those 3 games, but we got to, just continue to fight, and that's what the season's all about, just keep building.
The Wildcats were able to kind of get a little bit on the roll offensively in that second half, but you managed to kind of put the kibosh on it later on. Just talk about the defensive efforts throughout the second half.
Basketball is a game of runs. Teams going to go on runs. We just got to kind of do our best to limit those runs, basically. We're not going to – it's, like I said, it's a game of runs. Every team is going to go on a run sooner or later. So we just got to, cut down our mistakes, and that'll stop their runs.
This is the 6th time that you held a team to under 60 points in non-conference play. How much does that relate to your guys' team identity?
Our team identity is what Coach preaches all the time. Like I said, defense negates, fouling negates hustle. In practice, we preach that if you make an offensive mistake in practice, Coach lets you play through it. But if you make a defensive mistake in practice, he stops it, wants to correct it, and then we move forward.
You guys are rolling pretty much 10 or 11 deep on the roster. You've been pressing a lot, forcing a lot of turnovers in back-to-back games. Do you kind of feel like that's kind of be your niche going forward in the Big 12 play that you're going to get after it defensively?
Yeah, that's going to be our big thing. Non-conference, we try to, like you said, hold a lot of teams under, a certain amount of points, defensive masterpieces and everything. But, yeah, we use all of our guys. Coach tells us, don't pace yourself, play fast, but don't be in a hurry. So we're definitely going to try to use as many guys as we can get going into conference.
What do you think the biggest improvement you guys have made over this non-conference?
I would say just, moving on to the next play. Including myself, a lot of guys on the team make a mistake, and they're stuck on that mistake for the next couple of plays, and they make more mistakes than that. So cutting that one mistake and leaving that mistake by itself instead of making more mistakes while you're caught up on that, that's definitely one thing that we definitely improved on.
Over the past couple of games, we talked about stringing 2 halves together. Would you say that your team did that tonight?
I would not say we did that tonight. I think we held them. What did they have at halftime? 21 points. They're supposed to get 40. We're supposed to hold them under 42, and we didn't do that. And I think we just come out in the second half, and we're just not locked in. We think we got the game won already. We're not focused on that. So I think that's the biggest thing. Like we gotta, keep that same intensity that we had in the first half coming into the game in the second half.
18 turnovers too would be an example.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of new players on the roster this year. You were obviously one of them. You were out for a little extended period with, I know, a back issue. But where are you right now? Are you kind of getting into a groove as we head into conference play?
Definitely getting into a groove. Like I said, we're still gelling as a team, becoming brothers, family, and everything. But I feel like my team gives me the confidence to make certain plays out there, defensively, offensively, whatever they need me to do.
Do you think going into non-conference play can kind of help keep up that intensity throughout both halves?
Yeah, I definitely think exiting non-conference and going into conference, the other team's definitely going to be, I would say, better. I don't want to say better. I don't want to disrespect anybody else, but they're definitely going to be tougher games. They're definitely going to play a whole 40 minutes, but it's definitely going to make us better as well.
What does this team need to do now to make its mark in the Big 12?
Like I said, just put two halves together. We come out in the first half, we can hold teams under 25, 20 points. We need to do the same thing in the second half.
What do you want the rest of the Big 12 to know about this team as they kind of meet you guys this conference play season?
Definitely just want them to know that we're not coming to be satisfied with anything. We're coming for the number one spot in the Big 12 in all of NCAA basketball, and definitely just know our identity, and that's defense.
Yeah, and you go back in your groove offensively tonight. Just what did you like overall when you look at your teams against last dominating win before our conference play?
I would say just getting other guys involved, like the guys coming off the bench and scoring the ball. I think that was big for us, and everybody just being engaged on offense and defense, whether who was having it going or if nobody had it going. So I just think just those guys coming off the bench and getting going, guys like Twan, C.J. Walker, and also our bigs as well.
What's it like now to have CJ back and Antoine?
It's good to have them back. They're most definitely going to play a big role in what we got going on here. So it's good for them to get in the role right before the conference comes.
Have you seen some improvement from them getting some game action out of the strength?
Most definitely with CJ, just the mental part. With him coming back from his knee, the same thing with Twan, just his mental part and just him stop fighting himself and just trusting his work.
You guys win your last non-conference game of this season. Well, how have you seen your team grow, and what do you look to do better in conference play?
I would just say our togetherness and us just knowing each other. I think that's getting better with us. Also, just focusing on defense and not worry about whether who missing a shot. Just kind of like a next play mentality.
How important was this win tonight?
It was important. Like Coach said, every game is important because we're playing in it.
What do you like about your game defensively? What do you think you need to improve on?
Just being able to be handsy. I think I'm handsy on defense, but I feel like I need to get better with my off-ball defense, like playing the passing lanes a little more, so my off-ball defense.
More than half your points, you guys' points that are coming off of the bench, and obviously you mentioned having Twan and CJ in there. But how big is it to have that support behind you from the bench? Because you're leading the team, but you have the rest of the bench kind of come behind you and support you offensively.
We feel good. Marcellus Avery, I think he's still having it going, and I think he's gonna keep doing what he's doing. And I'm just glad that Twan and CJ just having it going and just coming out the bench and just not having no drop off when they come in the game.
Where do you think this team is heading into conference play? Finishing non-conference 9-3. Obviously, a big win tonight. Guys are getting healthy. See, like you mentioned, CJ's getting in the group now. Where do you think you are as a team heading into conference play in the Big 12?
I think we're in a good spot, but we got a lot of growing to do. We have to put two halves together, and also we gotta minimize our mental mistakes a little bit more. But for the most part, I like where we at, but we just can't get satisfied with anything.
One of the most impressive things throughout this non-conference play was your guys' defense, the ability to hold teams under 60 points. How much of that has shaped the way you guys play?
That's our identity. We want teams to turn the ball over. We want to stop them as much as we can by pressing and also just playing edgy on defense.
DeMarr talked about how you guys have wanted to keep Bethune under 42 and doing that. What are your thoughts on this team's ability to string two halves together this non-conference season?
I think that we just got to get better and not play the score. I just feel like we just got to put two halves together and just impose our will and dominate, not just Bethune-Cookman or whoever in our way, just dominate.
What are you most looking forward to the start of the Big 12 play?
Just come out with us being last in the conference, just to come out and just shock people. Just prove that we're not that team and we're one of those big teams that everyone think that they are. So we here to stay.
now that conference play is here, that really bothers you guys, right? You know, everyone was kind of dissing UCF, thinking these guys are going to finish at last. Is that something you guys are going to be thinking about as you're getting ready to play Kansas State next week?
We most definitely gonna keep the disrespect in the back of our head, but we're just gonna come out and play hard. Everyone can voice their own opinion on what we got going on, but we try not to pay attention to it. But it's also gonna be in the back of our head, so we can come out and play edgy and chippy.
What makes UCF different from every other Big 12 team that can help you kind of exceed any expectations they might have for you?
Just being able to play together. I think with us having good off the court relationships, and also just how coach coaches us. I feel like we got one of the best coaches in the Big 12, but just like coaching us to play defense and just keeping everyone confidence up when they're not making shots, or not just being on us too much about certain things, but making sure he get his point across about everything.
Heading into conference play, looking back at non-conference play, do you believe that this part of the season was a success?
We didn't come out as we planned to, but I feel like we grow, and that's what the game is about, just coming out and getting better each and every day.
What was Coach's message to the team that happened then after this one, and what kind of is going to stick with you about what he said going into conference play?
Can you repeat the question?
Well, what has Coach kind of said over the course of the start of the season that has stuck with you the most, and what will you really be thinking about going into conference play?
Just coming out and being able to play defense. Just take that side of the ball very seriously, and also taking care of the ball. Trying to keep our turnovers under 10. That's been a problem throughout the non-conference. So trying to keep our turnovers under 10 and playing the mental games. It's a lot of quotes that I can quote them on, but they just ain't on the top of my head right now.
What do you want the rest of the Big 12 to know about UCF going in?
That we're gonna come out and we're gonna play hard. We're gonna play chippy. We never gonna give up, and we here to stay.
Is all set?
Well, it was a good team win. I thought our guys played well. I thought coming off the holidays, I thought our preparation was really good. You know, both the 26th, 27th, of course, in the 28th. You know, our last day of prep. I thought our guys really executed the things we wanted them to execute well. And you know, it's all about trying to get better every practice, every game, and that's the mindset that we've taken. And I thought our guys did a good job of that these last few days.
I like the way your team just kind of closed out non-conference play. You know, there was a tough game against Ole Miss and everything, but you guys, for the most part, finished really strongly.
No, I thought our guys did a good job. I mean, you know, preseason it's all about, for us, with 10 new guys, you know, how do we get everybody acclimated? We have to get better through the process, and I think we've gotten better. And now we have to continue to move forward, but I thought it was a very good preseason for us with regards of our guys getting a good feel for what I want, as well as, you know, what they can do, you know, for each other on the basketball court.
You've been talking about depth, strength in numbers, 51 points off the bench. What do you like most about that number?
Exactly. You know, we want to be able to rely on all of our players, you know, that are in our rotation. And I think tonight was a good example that I think everyone that came in the game really contributed in some way. Not all of them scored a lot, but they still made plays for us that we're looking for them to make. And you know, it gives me confidence in what we can do when I see our guys, you know, off the bench come in and contribute like that. And our starters, I think it really helps them because now you can go out there and play and not pace yourself because whoever comes in can contribute as well.
How encouraging was it for you to see Antoine and CJ perform the way they did going into conference play, given how they started their season a little later in terms of like getting on the court?
Well, I'm really happy for both of those players. I mean, in Antoine's case, he set out missed years of basketball, so they haven't come back, and to have him play a game like he played tonight was really good for him, and it's good for us as a team too because, you know, we've seen him in practice. He's performed well. There's one thing to perform well in practice, is another to do it in the game. So really happy for him to have that moment. And then for CJ as well. I mean, think about what CJ's battled, you know, the last 3 years he's been here. I mean, he's probably missed more basketball than he's played. And so really happy to see him on the court, you know, getting some quality minutes and healthy. And like I said, for all the young kids, that's the main thing I want to see them just be healthy. They love the sport. I want to see them go out there and enjoy it. And you can see the joy in his eyes when he's out there playing today. And now we have to build on it. He has to still get his wind. He has to still get his timing. Those things are still coming. You know, he missed several months. But he was playing some really good basketball before the injury. And I know that it's right around the corner. He'll be right back to where he was before.
You guys win your last non-conference game of the season. How important was that win going into conference play? And will practice be more intense going into conference play?
We practice the way we practice. We approach every game the same way, and so we know we're starting in a new conference, and it's heralded as the best basketball conference in the country, and we're excited about taking our program there. But the way we practice and the way we prepare will always be the same.
How is momentum going into conference play?
Momentum going to conference, I think, winning games gives you momentum going in. We've got some wins under our belt going into conference. I think that's good. I think our guys are in a good place with regards to that. I think we're relatively healthy so far. So that's a big part of, any team's success. And so as long as, we keep working, stay healthy, and then trying to keep getting better every day, every game and every practice, that's all we can ask for. And our guys have done that. They worked hard for us. And I'm excited about this opportunity they have in front of us.
What do you think the biggest strides are that you've made over the course of the non-conference slate?
I think the biggest strides is our guys understanding what we want as a staff, how we want to guard. We're playing different than we've played in years past. We're playing more of a full-court game. We're pressing more. We're running more. So all these things lend itself to guys having to get used to our system, getting more acclimated to what we do. And I think they're doing a good job of it. And I think we still have room to grow, and that's what this week is going to be about, how we can even get better in those areas. I think, offensively, I think our guys are getting better with understanding kind of what I want in our system and playing off each other a little bit better. I think the assist number was really good tonight. We'd like to have a high assist number. The way we play, we should have one. And so, I think we're getting better in that area as well.
Rolling with 10 or 11 players a game for the most part, that seems like a little bit more than you have in years past. I mean,
Yes, it
yeah,
is.
because I remember that one year, the NCAA tournament year, I think it was only like 7 or 8 guys would play in a game, and now it's 10 or 11. But do you like that? Is that you talk about pressing and defensively and forcing turnovers? You guys are exerting a lot of effort the entire game. Is that what you can do when you have 10 or 11 guys you feel like you can roll with?
Well, I think you have to look at each year, and each team is always different, Brandon. So for me, I look at our personnel, and I don't look at this is my system and this is what we do. I'm not rigid to that. I'm more flexible. So I look at our personnel, and I'm thinking, I look at our guys, I'm like, we have good depth. There's not a lot of separation. So I said, maybe we'll play a system that's more conducive towards that. And so we started committing to doing that. We started this well off in the spring and in the summer, really committing to it. So the guys that were here in the summer got a heavy dose of preparing for this. And so that's why you see some of the guys are a little bit ahead of others in that regard. But we looked at our personnel, and our personnel drives what we want to do. And I thought our personnel lend itself to being more of a pressing team, more of a full court team, playing with more pace.
How do you think this schedule has prepared you for the Big 12 play?
I think our schedule's been a good schedule for us. I think we've had some challenging games. I think we played some teams, of course, Miami early on, top 25 team, Ole Miss top 25 team. So we played a couple teams in the top 25. I thought the teams that we played that weren't ranked, were challenging teams for us in the stages where we were as a team as well. They were well coached. They played hard. We had some really close wins, whether it's South Dakota State or whether it's Charlotte. I can think of games like that Stetson game. It was a great learning experience for us as well. So I think all those things help prepare us for what we're going to face. They all gave us different challenges, and I think our guys, will grow from the experiences that they were able to receive from those competitions, from those games.
Speaking about defensive performances, this is the 6th time you guys held a team you faced under 60 points. How impressive is that for your guys, and is that what you want, and is that going to be the model going into the Big 12?
Well, I think if we're going to have any success in that league, we're going to have to defend at a high level. I think if you look at the teams that play in the Big 12, you look at their defensive numbers, they're usually pretty good. So for us, we wanted to make sure we emphasize that. We've always done it as a program anyway, so it wasn't like it was a big change for us. The main thing that we have to do is we have to be better at it. And so that's what we're trying to do, is improve on those numbers. We're not trying to hold them under a certain number or anything like that. We're trying to make sure we just guard the way we want to guard. We have a game plan going in each one of these evenings, and we want to make sure we execute the game plan. I thought tonight we executed it well. I think we took the players out that we wanted to take out of the game, and I think we turned them over. We wanted to turn them over, and I thought we were able to do that. So the things that we had set out as goals in our game plan, our guys were able to execute tonight.
When teams prep to play, do you want them to look at you and have you known for your defense?
Absolutely. I want them to realize that every possession is going to be contested. Every possession is going to be challenged when they play against us. I think that's the best way to be. And defense travels. It's the one thing that travels. Offense can come and go. Defense travels because you don't have to have many off nights defensively. It's like a shot. Sometimes you can shoot at the rim all you want, it's not going to go in. But defensively, you can get in the stance, you can guard and move within your system. You should be able to do that every night. And so we're depending on our guys to understand the importance of that on every possession.
Would you say your team put two halves together tonight?
No, I don't think we did. I thought we played well for probably 30 minutes of the game. I thought that we had a stretch there in the second half where we have to be better. We can't have lapses like the one we had in the second half. And I give them, like I said, I'm always going to compliment the other team. I thought they did a lot of good things, and that, so we had to make some adjustments. I thought they adjusted some in the second half and were able to take advantage of some things that we didn't do as well. And so we'll look at the film, grade them, and we'll get back after it and try to improve in those areas.
You've been asked a lot about the Big 12 this preseason, but now it's finally here. You got the non-conference behind you. What do you think it's going to be like next Saturday in Manhattan, walking in that gym for the program's first ever Big 12 game?
Well, I think for our guys, it's going to be one in which the environment's going to be incredible. I mean, I know how those environments are. I was a part of them for a lot of years, so the environment's going to be incredible. So there's an adjustment period there for our guys. We'll try to do some things here in preparation for that to get them prepared. And then for us, being the head coach and the first team that's going to the Big 12, it's exciting. I'm happy that I'm the head coach that's taking us into the Big 12 first, and looking forward to the challenges that they're going to present.
18 turnovers on the night, that's a tough number to overcome in Big 12 play.
Definitely, and that's something that we're going to, go over and discuss when we get back to practice. But I will say, and following Bethune-Cookman, they are the #1 team in the nation at turning you over, basically. So they do a great job of that, even though they do it in the half court and they don't press. We're ranked really high in that area. They're #1 in that area. Our 370 teams, they do a great job of turning teams over, and that's been throughout the season for them.
I know you've got another week to jump into a scouting report, but Kansas State, Jerome Tang, tremendous year last season turning that program around. What do you kind of know offhand about Kansas State?
I have not seen Kansas State since the last year's tournament, and so I'm going to start looking at them, of course, when I leave here and start studying up on them. But I know he's a terrific coach. He does a great job. Not only that, he's probably a better man, a really good man, heck of a coach, and he'll have a really good team. I've watched, what they did last year. I'm sure with the momentum that they were able to gain, I'm sure they were able to recruit very well and bring in some more really talented players. And so I know it'll be a challenge for us, and that's what you have to look forward to.
What are you most satisfied about at this point?
Most satisfied right now that we halfway healthy. It's good to see us healthy right now. I mean, it's been so long since I've seen the majority of our players and guys that are really in the rotation out there together. And so to see CJ back out there, to see Antoine out there now, that's been really good for me to watch those guys, especially the guys that are from Florida and from Orlando and the surrounding areas to be back out there on the floor. So happy to see that, and just really satisfied with how our defense is really coming. I mean, we made a commitment to defending a little bit different this year, and to see, the results that we've gotten in large part because of our effort, energy that the guys bring defensively. That's been really good for me to see. So I would say, one year, our first year here, we were the #1 ranked defensive team in the nation. That was our first year. I think we had the lowest field goal percentage defense in the country. I think we held teams like 36+%, which was incredible. And, this team right now at this stage is challenging, numbers that, that team had, where I think this team can be, a top 25, a top 10 defensive team in the country if it continues to, build on what we're building on now.
Do you see that fueling confidence in your players when they
Absolutely.
produce a good defensive performance?
It really does, and it lends, and the way we're playing now, it leads to our offense, because the way we're playing, it leads to the open court a lot for us playing a 94-foot game, as I mentioned. So we out in the full court a lot. Like we turned them over 26 times. So that's 26 times we're probably out in the fast break and we're running. And so it's a little different style. Our guys are getting used to it now. They're getting used to the pace. And I think I said this about 4 or 5 games ago. As they get more accustomed to the pace, they're only going to get improved because they'll get comfortable playing fast. It takes a while to get comfortable playing at the pace that we want to play. And I'm here to tell you, I think we're still playing a little too slow. I want to speed it up even more. So that's what this week is going to be about. That's what going into the Big 12 is going to be about, is our pace. But we have to do it with what you said, Trice. We have to do it taking care of the basketball. We can't turn the ball over 18 times in the Big 12. That just can't happen. And so we're going to continue to work on that as well.
The The Big 12 projected you guys to finish last in conference play. Now that you have finished your non-conference play going into this first season of the Big 12, what do you want this conference to know about your team going in?
To know that every night that we're going to come out, we're going to compete at a high level. Every night we come out, we're going to defend every single possession. We're not going to take any possessions off. That's what I would like for them to know.
I'll say, guys.
Appreciate it. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Coach.